Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa had just been announced. Now, who's going to win this fight? Well, let's look at their latest performances, in which Robert Whittaker fought Marvin Vettori, in which Robert Whittaker absolutely dominated this whole fight. His defense, his kicks were just too lethal, in which won him the fight, and he won by decision.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, Robert!
Now, Robert Whittaker went on to fight Dricus Du Plessis, in which his grappling and his wrestling was very good in round one.
It may not be traditional. Great takedown.
But Dricus Du Plessis' striking was also lethal in round one.
Nice jab.
Keeps his hands low. So
One of round one. Dean Thomas, what do you have?
And until Dricus Du Plessis dropped him in round two,
he stunned him.
in which Robert Whittaker did get up from this, but then just took more punishment from Dricus Du Plessis, and the ref stopped it in round two. Now let's talk about Paulo Costa's latest performances, in which he also fought Marvin Vettori, in which Paulo Costa's body kicks were lethal, but Marvin's striking was just on a whole nother level, in which he outstriked Paulo Costa in almost every single round, and Marvin Vettori won by decision.
For your winner by unanimous decision, the Italian Dream!
After this, Paulo Costa went on to fight Luke Rockhold, in which Luke Rockhold's defense was not there, which gave Paulo Costa an opportunity to land many punches, in which Paulo Costa did, in which he outlanded Luke Rockhold. And not only that, but in round two, his grappling was so lethal that it took the whole energy off Luke Rockhold, which gave Paulo Costa another opportunity to land way more on Luke Rockhold, in which Paulo Costa won by decision.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, Paulo!
Now, for those who don't know, this fight was actually meant to happen a while back. It was actually meant to happen on UFC 284, which is when Islam Makhachev fought Alexander Volkanovski for the first time in February 11th. Now, here's the thing. It turned out that Paulo Costa never actually backed out the fight because he never actually signed the contract. He said he didn't want to sign the contract because they weren't paying him enough. But now it seems like we had this fight again and set for UFC 298. But at the same time, we can't get too comfortable and think that this fight is secure because, like I brought up, this fight was supposed to happen and it didn't happen. And not only this, but Paulo Costa is kind of known for backing out of fights, as he was supposed to fight Hamza Chimaev this year, in which he didn't because he had an elbow injury in which he needed surgery, so they forced him to pull out the fight, which I guess you can say it wasn't his fault, but at the same time, he still has a history for pulling out of big fights. But in the end, if and when this fight does happen, I do believe it'll be a very good fight for both men, since both men are very good and elite fighters for one another. But I do believe that based off Rob Whittaker's last performance, I do think that if Paulo Costa is able to put pressure early on, he could take some confidence away from Rob Whittaker, which could lead him to him picking him apart and winning the fight pretty convincingly.